Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a world where injustice appears to rule, where wrongdoing seems to prosper, and where patience is tested daily. Many of us have asked the question, why now? Why not sooner? Tonight, I wish to talk about a principle that is both comforting and challenging: the timing of justice and the role of those who are chosen to witness it. 3 hours ago, justice reached her. Not before, not after, but precisely at the moment it was meant to arrive. We often believe that timing is a matter of our own control, but life and the moral universe moves with a rhythm far beyond human calculation. What appears as delay is, in truth, preparation. What appears as inaction is, in truth, cultivation. Those who are chosen are those prepared to recognize and act upon this truth. Being chosen does not mean life is easy. On the contrary, it means one is entrusted with responsibility. The responsibility to stand upright when the world is faltering, to speak truth when silence is convenient, to act justly when injustice seems to dominate. Chosen ones are refined by difficulty, not spared from it. They are tested not for their comfort, but for their courage. And yet, in this refinement there is hope. Justice, though it may appear delayed, never misses its appointed hour. We see its arrival not always with grandeur, but often quietly, subtly, like a clock striking unseen in the night. Faith is the recognition that what is right will be done, and moral courage is the act of living rightly while waiting. This is a call to action. Do not despair when the scales of justice seem unbalanced. Do not grow weary when patience is demanded. Live each moment with integrity. Serve others with courage, and know that every act of goodness, every choice to uphold truth, is preparing you for that moment when justice, divine and human, arrives. 3 hours ago she received what was owed. Today, we are reminded that the universe balances itself in ways we cannot always see but must always trust. Chosen ones, rise to your calling. Stand firm in adversity. Live with courage, patience and hope, for justice is never absent. It is simply arriving in its own perfect time. Human beings have an innate desire to control the unfolding of events in their lives. We measure time meticulously, mark our calendars with expectations, and often demand immediate resolution to the problems we face. Yet life frequently defies our timetables, presenting delays, setbacks, and mysteries that challenge our patience. This tension between human perception and divine timing is at the core of our experience of justice, opportunity, and personal growth. While we interpret the world through the lens of our immediate desires, there exists a broader rhythm, one that aligns with purpose, consequence, and moral order, rather than personal convenience. Divine timing is not dictated by human urgency. It follows a logic far more complex and precise than our limited understanding allows. Events unfold according to a sequence that, while imperceptible to us, is designed to maximize justice, meaning, and the readiness of those involved. What we perceive as delay is often preparation, shaping circumstances and refining character in ways that would be invisible if rushed or skipped. The human mind is prone to impatience, and it often equates delay with injustice. We wonder why a wrongdoer seems to prosper, why effort goes unrewarded, or why suffering persists longer than we deem fair. These perceptions, however, are inherently short-sighted. They consider only the immediate and tangible consequences, neglecting the unseen factors that govern outcomes in the larger moral and spiritual framework. Divine timing operates like a masterful architect planning a structure. Each element must be in its proper place, each component must be strengthened, and each connection must be tested before the building can stand securely. To intervene prematurely would risk instability, undermining the integrity of the final outcome. In the same way, justice, opportunity, and deliverance arrive at precisely the right moment, when all conditions align for maximum effect and enduring impact. The delay is not denial, it is the deliberate and meticulous arrangement of circumstances that allows what is right and true to manifest fully. Divine timing challenges our sense of urgency by teaching the value of patience and resilience. Human perception interprets waiting as stagnation, yet waiting is rarely empty or purposeless. It is in these intervals that character is developed, insight is gained, and understanding is deepened. When justice arrives according to divine timing, it does so in a way that is proportional to the lesson to be learned and the readiness of those affected. The moment of arrival is often accompanied by clarity that retrospectively reveals the hidden purpose of the wait. What once appeared as a frustrating pause is recognized as an essential preparation, without which the outcome might have been incomplete, ineffective, or even harmful. This principle extends beyond individual experience to encompass collective events, social justice, and historical developments. Nations, communities, and movements often experience delayed resolution, not because justice is absent, but because the conditions necessary for lasting and meaningful change require careful orchestration. Understanding the distinction between human perception and divine timing requires humility and reflection. It demands that we recognize the limits of our knowledge, the fragility of our assumptions, and the narrowness of our temporal perspective. We are inclined to measure fairness by immediacy, equating instant gratification with moral success. Divine timing, however, often inverts this assumption, demonstrating that the most profound outcomes are rarely instantaneous. They are the result of a sequence of events, choices, and circumstances that converge with precision. By trusting in this larger rhythm, we cultivate patience, discernment, and an awareness of the interconnections that shape reality. Each delay, each seeming setback, becomes an opportunity to grow in understanding, to refine our intentions, and to strengthen our capacity to act when the appointed moment arrives. The tension between human perception and divine timing teaches a fundamental lesson. Life is orchestrated according to principles that transcend immediate comprehension. What may seem like delay is often an alignment of forces beyond our awareness, designed to ensure that outcomes are just, meaningful, and enduring. By embracing this perspective, we learn to act with integrity in the present, to persevere through uncertainty, and to recognize that every moment, even those that appear empty or delayed, is part of a larger purposeful unfolding. Human perception may demand answers on our schedule, but divine timing operates on a schedule of consequence, readiness, and truth. The wisdom lies in learning to wait to prepare, and to trust that what is meant to happen will arrive, not too soon, not too late, but exactly when it must. To be chosen is not merely to be favored or singled out for comfort. It is to be entrusted with a profound responsibility that surpasses ordinary expectation. Those who are chosen carry a mandate that aligns them with purpose, compelling them to act in ways that influence not only their own lives but the lives of others. Being chosen is a call to awareness, demanding that one recognize the role they play within a broader narrative of justice, morality, and destiny. It is not a distinction of privilege, but a distinction of duty, and this duty requires clarity of mind, courage of spirit, and steadfastness in principle. Every choice made by a chosen one ripples outward, affecting circumstances and shaping outcomes far beyond the immediate horizon. In this sense, the chosen are not merely passive recipients of fate. They are active participants in the unfolding of purpose, tasked with carrying forward the potential of what could be, rather than remaining confined by what is. The notion of being chosen carries with it a paradoxical reality. The more one is aware of their purpose, the heavier the responsibility feels. Life does not soften its trials for the chosen, nor does it exempt them from the ordinary challenges that define human experience. Instead, the chosen are often tested more rigorously, not as a punishment, but as preparation. Just as metal must endure heat to become strong and malleable, the chosen must navigate adversity to cultivate resilience, wisdom, and discernment. These experiences are not arbitrary, they are formative. Each challenge refines character, strengthens moral clarity, and deepens empathy. In this process, the chosen come to understand that their purpose is inseparable from their preparedness, and that the fulfillment of their calling depends not solely on innate talent or desire, but on the disciplined cultivation of virtue through experience. The chosen are often called to act in ways that defy common expectation. Purpose frequently demands courage that transcends comfort, integrity that resists compromise, and vision that anticipates outcomes unseen by others. To act according to one's purpose is to engage with a standard of morality that may conflict with prevailing norms, social convenience, or immediate reward. Yet it is precisely this engagement that distinguishes the chosen from the ordinary. They are agents of transformation, not merely participants in routine or conformity. Their lives are a living argument for the alignment of action with principle, demonstrating that meaningful influence arises not from position or power, but from fidelity to one's purpose. This fidelity requires vigilance, reflection, and the courage to act even when the outcome is uncertain or the cost is high. Being chosen also entails a heightened awareness of responsibility toward others. Purpose is never solely self-directed, it exists within a relational and communal framework. The actions of the chosen reverberate, creating impact in ways both immediate and subtle. Leadership, guidance, and example are natural consequences of this calling, and the chosen must learn to wield influence with wisdom, humility, and care. In this, the chosen cultivate not only skill and intellect, but character and empathy, recognizing that the most enduring outcomes are those that uplift, empower, and enable others. The call to purpose, therefore, is inseparable from the call to service. To be chosen is to be entrusted with a stewardship that transcends personal ambition, requiring that one's actions align with a larger moral and spiritual order. Finally, the experience of being chosen reveals a profound truth about human potential. Purpose is not given lightly, nor is it self-contained. It demands active engagement with the world, disciplined cultivation of one's abilities, and courage to act despite fear, uncertainty, or resistance. Chosen ones are, in essence, mirrors of possibility. They embody what is achievable when conviction meets action, when vision is paired with perseverance, and when moral courage guides decisions in the face of adversity. They remind us that the measure of a life is not comfort or ease, but alignment with purpose, and that those who embrace their calling can influence the course of events far beyond what they can immediately perceive. The life of the chosen is both a challenge and an inspiration, demonstrating that every individual, when attuned to purpose, can act as a catalyst for justice, meaning, and transformation in the world around them. Suffering is an inevitable part of human existence, yet it is often misunderstood and resisted with instinctive aversion. From a young age, we are conditioned to seek comfort and avoid pain, equating a life free of hardship with happiness and success. Yet, life seldom unfolds according to this expectation. Suffering in its many forms, whether emotional, physical, or moral, serves a purpose beyond immediate comprehension. It is not punishment in the arbitrary sense, nor is it a signal of divine neglect. Rather, it functions as a refining instrument, shaping character, strengthening resolve, and cultivating virtues that cannot be developed in the absence of challenge. Patience, in turn, becomes the essential companion of suffering, allowing the individual to endure, reflect, and grow while maintaining hope and perspective. Without patience, suffering can lead to despair, bitterness, or destructive behavior. With patience, it transforms into a teacher, revealing lessons about resilience, empathy, and the nature of life itself. Suffering has a unique capacity to illuminate human limitations. It exposes the fragility of our assumptions, the insufficiency of our control, and the transience of circumstances we often take for granted. When we encounter difficulties, our initial reaction is frequently one of resistance, questioning, or even rebellion against the injustice of our experience. However, enduring suffering with patience gradually cultivates humility. We learn to recognize that life's outcomes are rarely dictated solely by personal effort or desire. Instead, they are shaped by a complex interplay of forces, including timing, morality, and the choices of others. By embracing this reality, patience allows the mind to move beyond immediate frustration, enabling a deeper understanding of causality, consequence, and the broader tapestry of existence. In this way, suffering becomes a form of instruction, guiding the individual toward wisdom that is otherwise inaccessible. Suffering fosters empathy, a quality essential for meaningful connection and moral action. Those who have experienced adversity develop a sensitivity to the pain of others, recognizing its universality and the complexity of human struggle. Patience during suffering is not passive resignation, but an active cultivation of understanding, the deliberate choice to engage with discomfort in a way that enriches one's capacity for compassion. This cultivated empathy transforms personal pain into a resource for supporting others, turning hardship into a bridge rather than a barrier. In a society where self-interest often dominates, the patience gained through suffering positions individuals to act as agents of kindness, justice, and moral courage, guided not by convenience but by principle. Suffering also demands perseverance, the sustained effort to continue in spite of discouragement or apparent stagnation. Life often places obstacles that challenge not only our endurance, but our faith in meaningful outcomes. Patience under these conditions is a form of inner strength, a conscious decision to trust in the ultimate justice or alignment of purpose, even when immediate evidence is lacking. This perseverance is transformative. It reshapes the individual's character, clarifies priorities, and teaches the value of incremental progress. Small victories achieved through patient endurance accumulate, reinforcing resilience and demonstrating that meaningful change rarely occurs instantaneously. The lessons embedded within suffering, therefore, are inseparable from the practice of patience. One cannot be fully realized without the other. Suffering serves as a mirror, revealing the depth of commitment to one's values, principles, and purpose. When adversity arises, it tests integrity and courage, exposing weaknesses but also highlighting the potential for growth. Patience allows individuals to navigate these trials without compromising moral standards or personal dignity. It encourages reflection over reaction, careful judgment over impulsive action, and a measured approach to problem solving that integrates insight gained through experience. Over time, those who endure suffering with patience develop a perspective that recognizes the interconnectedness of events, the significance of character over circumstance, and the enduring nature of principles that withstand hardship. Suffering and patience are inseparable elements in the development of a mature, purposeful life. Pain and challenge are inevitable, but how one responds defines the trajectory of growth and influence. Patience transforms suffering from a source of despair into a mechanism of refinement, revealing the individual's potential for wisdom, resilience, empathy, and moral courage. Those who embrace suffering as a teacher learn to navigate life with greater depth, awareness, and purpose, understanding that each trial is an opportunity to strengthen the mind, fortify the spirit, and align more closely with the principles that govern justice, meaning, and personal responsibility. Through this lens, suffering is neither punishment nor misfortune. It is a deliberate instrument of growth, and patience is the skill through which its lessons are realized. Moral courage is the capacity to act rightly in the face of opposition, fear, or uncertainty, and it is one of the most essential qualities for anyone seeking to live a life of purpose and integrity. Unlike physical courage, which responds to immediate danger, moral courage confronts the invisible, persistent forces of societal pressure, personal doubt, and ethical ambiguity. It requires a steadfast commitment to principles, even when the world offers easier or more convenient alternatives. Moral courage is not loud or performative. It is quiet, deliberate, and often unnoticed, yet its effects ripple outward, shaping communities, influencing decisions, and setting enduring examples. To cultivate moral courage is to develop the ability to navigate life with a sense of responsibility to what is right rather than what is expedient, understanding that the long-term consequences of integrity outweigh the temporary relief of compromise. At the heart of moral courage is self-knowledge, the awareness of one's values, convictions, and limits. Without clarity about what is right and just, courage becomes directionless, easily swayed by fear, doubt, or popular opinion. Those who demonstrate moral courage invest time in understanding the principles they stand for, reflecting on the broader implications of their choices, and discerning between fleeting discomfort and genuine ethical compromise. This discernment is essential because moral challenges are rarely absolute. They are often layered, complex, and intertwined with conflicting interests. Courage, therefore, is exercised not impulsively but thoughtfully, guided by reflection and a commitment to consistency in values. In this sense, moral courage is a form of disciplined freedom. It is the freedom to act according to conscience, restrained and guided by reason, empathy, and principle. Moral courage also requires resilience, the ability to endure criticism, ridicule, or even ostracism in pursuit of what is right. History is filled with examples of individuals who faced immense opposition for acting according to conscience. Those who spoke out against injustice, challenged corruption, or defended the vulnerable despite personal cost. Such acts often appear risky or unpopular in the moment, but they demonstrate a deeper understanding of responsibility. That life guided by principle has intrinsic worth beyond immediate approval or reward. Resilience in moral courage is cultivated by repeated practice, by facing small challenges consistently, and by choosing integrity in everyday decisions. Each act of courage reinforces character, making the next choice easier to confront and amplifying the individual's ability to influence situations constructively. Moral courage is inseparable from empathy and the recognition of the interconnectedness of human life. Courage without consideration for others can become arrogance or recklessness, but when grounded in moral awareness, it becomes a vehicle for justice, protection, and leadership. Those who possess moral courage understand that their actions have consequences not only for themselves, but also for the communities and individuals around them. They are willing to bear personal discomfort for the sake of fairness, truth, and the well-being of others. This willingness transforms moral courage into a practical force for positive change, influencing systems and cultures by modeling behavior that others may be inspired to emulate. In essence, moral courage is the bridge between personal integrity and collective progress. An often overlooked aspect of moral courage is patience. Courage is not always immediate or dramatic. It is sometimes measured in the persistence to uphold principles quietly over time. Standing for truth may require enduring systemic obstacles, confronting subtle injustices repeatedly, or consistently choosing right action in situations where compromise seems easier. Patience allows moral courage to sustain itself, preventing the fatigue or disillusionment that can accompany prolonged ethical engagement. The patient exercise of courage reinforces the notion that integrity is not a single act but a lifelong practice, built through consistent choices that align with values even when immediate results are invisible. Moral courage shapes identity, behavior, and impact. It defines the boundary between character and conformity, between action guided by principle and action driven by convenience or fear. Those who cultivate moral courage become anchors of stability and influence in an often uncertain world, demonstrating that ethical action is both possible and necessary regardless of circumstance. By confronting fear, embracing responsibility, and acting consistently according to principle, individuals with moral courage embody a form of leadership that inspires trust, fosters justice, and encourages others to rise to their own potential. It is through moral courage that societies are held accountable, communities are strengthened, and individuals realize the profound truth that living rightly is its own reward, and that the strength of one's convictions can change not only a life, but the course of many lives interconnected through justice and purpose.